Why do I'll forget it. I'm still carrying over the giggles from the Mad Max films. What the fuck?
Yeah, they were pretty bonkers podcasts, but at the same time, they're bonkers films in the best possible way, so it fits.
So, what we decided to do here, I didn't want to do this next one, and I'm not talking about Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. We have done that one, and it will be getting released, sadly. But no, just doing new releases seems to be doing pretty well. If we try to get them day of release or close to it. Long Legs is a perfect example. Thank you for everyone who downloaded Long Legs. It's been a massive success. A lot of compliments on that, actually. So we do appreciate the feedback and the downloads. So we decided we're going to keep fueling that engine with new releases. And I didn't want to do this one because I want to do a retrospective of it. But we've talked to Alien. We've talked to Alien versus Predator. So it's kind of sloppy at this point. So we might get to it in a few years' time. But I wanted to deal with this one because I'm a big fan of Fede Alvarez. He's becoming just one of the best directors out there. He's 3 for 3 in my eyes with movies like Don't Breathe, Evil Dead, and I kind of just gave all my cards on the table saying 3 for 3, and his new film, Alien Romulus. So he's, some concerns here. And what I was concerned was going into this film, and the trailer misled you a little bit. So I don't know if that's going to hurt some of the box office numbers or if it is. The trailer, I thought it was a bunch of nerdy little fucking brat pack breakfast sciences nerds who, like in Jason X, who are all too smart for their own good, find an alien specimen and get taken out.
But
basic blah, blah, blah. But guys, I am going to tell you now, it's not that film. It is a complete 180. We'll dive into it. But we were pleasantly surprised that the film takes a different direction. So before we go any further, I need to have to let you know this we be spoiled filled. So if you don't want to know the tricks and the little nest eggs, pardon the pun, that they have in this film, the little nod of the hats, little winks at the older version of this franchise, do not want to listen. If you do, good on you.
Yeah, I would maybe advise you to watch the film first and then come back and listen to our podcast if you don't like spoilers, because there will be major spoilers here.
Yep. Plenty of them.
Yep, absolutely.
So the film kind of has me pretty quickly here. And the one plus side about this film, so it's like Alien, where it's a very minimal cast, which I really like to see. And the main characters are, quite frankly, Rain, Andy, Tyler, Kay, Bjorn, Navarro, and Rook.
Yes.
That's it. That's your characters. All up-and-comers, besides a little cameo we'll be talking about here in a second. And these up-and-comers are quite talented. Fede Alvarez likes to work with new talent. He did it with Evil Dead, and he did it with Don't Breathe. So someone in his casting office knows what to look for or what his likes or dislikes are. Because I will say this, you've got pretty much no names that I don't really recognize besides a couple of them. They nail it out of the park. The acting here is pretty...
Oh, it's solid. And just to back up what you said earlier, a concern of mine was that, like the most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, they were going to be like young, sort of late teens, early 20s characters who were deeply annoying. But, to back up what you're saying, that is not the case. And apparently Alvarez, who I like a lot as well, got the idea for these characters through a deleted scene from Aliens, where it was a bunch of the kids in the colony in Aliens running about, and he thought, well, maybe we could have a film or a story with them growing up a bit and having to face down against xenomorphs.
Well, that's piggyback on that comment. That's exactly what it is. I mean, I remember turning into it going, is this the same planet that the aliens took over in Aliens? And it isn't. We know that. But it does have that same planet feel.
Oh, absolutely.
They're both mining colonies. They're both all family oriented. The only difference this one this colony seems to be a little more aggressive with its colonists. All these kids are orphans because their parents are dying in the mines.
Yeah.
So now they have to take over where their parents left off, and their contracts are being extended.
And they're going to die, obviously, as well, because it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Victorian chimney sweeps almost,
Yeah. I was waiting for Mary Poppins to come out.
Dick Van Dyke.
That would be awesome.
Tap dance.
Dick Van Dyke comes out. Chim true.
Dressed in a xenomorph.
That'd be awesome in an alien movie.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome. I just rewrote this.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're fucking welcome. Now, the opening scene had me pretty quickly. And the reason I say that, it begins with a salvage ship, and it's going through the universe, and it finds the wreckage, that's right, of our beloved Nostromo. It's a really nice little scene, and they grab this artifact in space that looks like it's petrified at this point. Don't really know what it is, but they take it on board. Well, we know where we're going with this, and that is this is called the Romulus, is what the ship is. And this ship, that will be the ship's downfall. We don't see anything. We don't need to. It cuts to the colony we're about to talk about.
No, it's the ship. Yeah, the ship is basically takes them to the space station, the Romulus. The Romulus is a space station.
Oh, okay. It's not the okay.
Yeah,
the space station is already. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought for some reason this was okay. Well, okay. There you go.
Yeah,
we saw this once, so we're gonna have.
Yeah, give us a break.
hopefully we can correct each other. But yeah, that's hence the reason why it's called Romulus.
Yes. And it goes back to the whole sort of Alien series of, where they base like ships and stuff on classic mythological characters, like from ancient Greece, or in this case, ancient Rome. Romulus and Remus were the mythological founders of Rome, the twins.
Like, wow, look at you doing all
history lesson.
Wow, all the book learning.
No, I remember doing it in school.
Well, you read good in school? Is that what you just said?
No, I remember doing Romulus and Remus in school. It's the
You got reamed in school? What?
Rimmed? No, well,
I'm sorry, you're cutting out. I'm cutting out.
Yeah, no.
Squirtum Cowboy? What?
Romulus and Remus, ancient Roman mythology.
Okay. Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
I can't spell mythology, but I know what it is. I saw it in Clash of the Titans.
Even better. Yep. Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah, so this is the Colony Jackson.
Yes.
Colony Jackson Star. The aliens colony was called Hadley's Hope.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, it's a mining colony. And we're introduced to a character. This is probably, we talk about arcs a lot. I kind of had my own arc in this film. And it's around the character of Andy. Now, I knew right away, I turned to you, remember the theater? Yeah. He's a little slow, and he's coming off a little autistic almost, and he likes to repeat really stupid puns.
Yeah, jokes.
So I turned to you, and I said, yeah, he's an android.
Yes.
And sure enough, he is an android. He's our android of this film. And he's been malfunctioning, but he's been with the gang since she can remember.
Yeah.
Rain.
She basically rescued him off a rubbish tip because he was malfunctioning, and she sort of adopted him as a brother.
Yeah, exactly. And so these two are going to be our main focal points, Rain and Andy. And that's it. So she finds out she's going to be contracted longer. They're not honoring her contract. She was supposed to be taken off the colony. Not going to happen at this point because we all know what we know about Wayland Industries. They're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, they're bastards. Wayland Yutani. Yeah.
Exactly. So her ex-boyfriend, Tyler, and the gang, Kay, Bjorn, and Navarro, ask her, they really need Andy, not her, but she's not going to go without him.
Yes.
They want to take a salvage ship, or a little shuttle ship, go up to the Romulus and go in there and pretty much take shit from it.
They want to steal the space sleep cryopods because they want to then take them on board the ship that they have stolen, and because they want to then go into deep space sleep, cryo sleep, And then, they hope to reach this planet that she's been dreaming about, because they've never seen a sun rise, because the mining colony that they're on, it's constantly night. You know what I mean? There's no sunrise, but they want to escape, obviously, for the work and all, because of the hard work, and their lives are limited. They want to escape this hellhole of a mining planet and reach another, presumably much nicer planet. But to do this, they have to get the cryopods from the space station, the Romulus, take it onto their ship, go into deep space sleep before they have to travel for 6 years or whatever under space sleep. I think.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Then they need Andy.
Yes,
because Andy is a robot, so he can go into
he can hack basically. Yeah,
he can hack.
Yeah. He can get them on board the space station, Romulus and stuff, and that's why they need him.
So they take off, and there's a nice little, when they finally get to the inside the Romulus, there's a scene where the two guys, Tyler and Bjorn, have to sneak into this. They have to get through this little vent, I guess you can say, to open the main door to get the rest of the gang in. And so when they're doing this, what happens is the gravity is, there's a switch isn't working. So the gravity is coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice element of claustrophobia. So when they're in there, you're kind of claustrophobic yourself, because you know how tight squeeze this is. And they're skinny guys already. But at the same time, they're being pushed up and down, up and down, consistently trying to get through this small vent.
Well, Alvarez knows his horror, and this is, that's claustrophobic scenes. It's very well done by him.
And what he does do well when he does these scenes, obviously you're in a dark area. He makes sure that the audience can clearly see what's happening. There's no what's going on? I can't really see it.
It's dark, but it's not too dark.
Yeah, everything's wonderfully lit. Or he'll give the actors some kind of gear that they'll make them stand out. And so it works beautifully. But it already builds to it. I like when films build to a tension that has nothing to do with the tension that's about to happen. Yeah. They give you more than just, oh, look, we're aliens. And trust me, guys, like I said, spoiler filled, this movie you think ends, then it doesn't end, and then there's something else.
Yes.
It is a really fun roller coaster ride of elements of what we just talked about. So they get in, and guess who we meet? A character called Rook. Now, Rook, you've never met him, but you've met his probably little brother. I'm not sure what the times.
Our bigger brother.
I know this is after Alien.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Ash, who is the villain in the first one, and is played again by a now passed Ian Holm. Now I looked this up. Everything was altered, CGI'd, and they do what do you call it? The voice the voice AI.
Yes.
That kind of stuff took from old films that he did. All the work that must go into that and put it into sentences and so forth.
It's similar to what they did with Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the opening scene. Apparently they used elements of previous Indiana Jones films when Harrison Ford was much younger, and they sort of did it with that,
Yeah, I mean, that I kind of get, but it's more about the voice.
Yes.
To be able to, I understand if it's a cameo. They did it, quite frankly, really nicely with Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis character in the last Halloween we talked about. And it's the voice that throws me off, because how did they do that? Obviously, they had an actor who knew how to talk like Loomis, which is fine because he's only in it for about 30 seconds. But the Rook character, guys, is in the whole film.
Yes.
So they went into a database and got word after word after word that was said by the late Ian Holm and put it into this character. Pretty fucking impressive stuff.
Oh, yeah. Very it's cutting edge. Obviously there would have been enhancements with the likes of AI and stuff. Possibly even an actor maybe saying some lines who, an actor who's good at doing impressions of Ian Holm, basically. But together, it does work 100%. And I'm not a fan of CGI generally.
Well, Yeah, I mean, I am a fan of CGI when it's done like this.
Yes.
I mean,
When it's done well,
CGI
it's
is
great.
a necessity. Yeah, I mean, Indiana Jones, we talked about, the CGI is wonderful, but in this, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's some shots coming up that make you just go, Jesus, I get, CGI. It's when CGI is replacing everything.
Yes,
is where
exactly.
I have a problem with it.
I mean,
but I'll tell you what, guys, the aliens in this are costumed. They're animatronic. There's no CGI aliens in this one.
Man of Monster suits.
And that could, yeah, it's old school and new school without CGI enhancements, and it's just beautiful. I mean, it's just
this is the
gorgeous.
thing. I have no, per se, I have no real issue with CGI and AI. In theory. But it's whenever there's an overindulgence with them that pisses me off. And yes, they are needed in science fiction and fantasy, less so horror. But whenever it's something like this, the best way is to use them only when you really have to. And Alvarez certainly seems to have done that here.
What Alvarez does is he takes the greatest hits of all the Aliens films.
Yes.
Let's say that right now. He does. Period. He does it.
Yeah.
And I will always say, do what you want. Make it, do what you want with a requel or a sequel, whatever you're doing. But always be true to the source material.
Yes.
And what he has done is he's been true to Aliens, period. And just nodding at the cap. Now, Aliens hasn't happened yet, technically. But he does a little nod to some of the scenes.
Yeah, but the guns and stuff.
Where Rain is being trained how to use the gun. That's pretty much a mirror image of Hicks and Ripley.
Yeah.
As he's training with the pulse, because the pulse rifle is in this.
Well, there are even some direct lines reused from both films. The famous one, "Get away from her, you bitch," but there's other ones from Alien, like whenever Ripley signs off at the very end of the first one, and that happens at the end of this film. And also, Rook also says a line that is basically word for word for the final line that Ice says, along the lines of, "I won't lie about your chances of survival,"
Yeah, I mean, it does. If you're a fan of the original work, you'll catch it. It might take a couple times to see it. I missed some stuff that Trevor saw, and then I saw some stuff.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you just got to be on the ball.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth revisiting if you're a fanboy of this.
I would say as well.
Of the franchise.
Well, there is also references to Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I mean, they're part of the story essentially, so it ties in with all of them. And
well, you got to emphasize, people. Guys, keep in mind, Prometheus and Alien Covenant are actually the first films.
Yes.
Then it's Alien, and then it's this one. So keep that in mind. So when we do mention the references coming up with Prometheus and the Covenant, they happen first, technically.
Yes. Chronologically, they happen first.
Yes. From the Alien timeline.
Yep.
Now, going back to what I was saying, what Alvarez does here is he takes all the elements from them and he just fucking reloads them. So we've always been peppered in with the Facehugger. We've always known about it, and there's always one coming to get you. Well, this one, there's a fucking
12 of them
fleet
or
of them.
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah.
And they use them consistently. Now you think, oh, it's Facehugger, I would blow it out of the water. But when you got like 30 of them coming at you, it is so fucking fun.
It's like being attacked by giant spiders. They're awful.
Yeah. And this one really does detail what they do in your throat and really show you the impact of what these things can do. We already know, of course, and they've done it well on all of them, to be honest with you. But this one just seemed a little more raw, and how it treats its victim or its host, I guess you could say.
Yep.
Now the water scene I really enjoyed. This is when the Facehuggers full come at them. Mm-hmm. They're in the water, and these Facehuggers are underneath, and they're just coming at them full blast. Just such, I mean, you never know how they're going to get out of something. And they do. And the great thing about it, that they're smart kids. Well, they're probably late teens at this point, or early 20s. And then the little diamond in the rough here is that this might not have been capable if the boy I couldn't stand, Andy. Now, I talked about my own personal arc in this film, and it's with Andy. I went from hating this character. I couldn't stand him. I thought the jokes were stupid. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Here's the goofy robot that we're going to have to fucking protect and save. He's like my brother. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. This is going to suck. This is going to suck. And what they do here is that he doesn't have full access that they thought he would to all the ship shit. So they take the chip out of Rook, who is the head honcho, and they take it out of him and put it into Andy, causing Andy to become a sophisticated, more advanced android.
And also, in a more sinister manner, he is now more or less taken over by Rook to carry out the mission of the original guys who were on the space station with the original alien from the Nostromo to basically clone these things and, for the company, essentially. So basically, Andy becomes evil Andy.
Yeah, he's a complete opposite character. But the character at some point isn't necessarily evil, I would say.
I think
he's still doing the right thing because A, it's what he's programmed to do at this point now, but also because he knows this thing can't get out.
See, in the second one, Bishop talks about how the models that Rook is, the way at first Ripley doesn't like Bishop because of Aish, essentially, in Aliens. Well, basically, Bishop explains how those models had glitches, as he describes them, where they have no problem at all basically hurting or even killing humans if it means to complete the mission. Because don't forget, the robots, they're completely logical. You know what I mean? They will always use logic. And Andy does it as well. Well, there's scenes where, he doesn't save the pregnant girl because he would be putting them all at risk, including her, against the aliens, at the door. So that makes complete sense. But from a human point of view, they're bastards. But at the same time, it makes sense, and I get it. It's like Spock in Star Trek.
I mean, when the pregnant girl will come up near the end there, but if he did what he was supposed to do, they wouldn't. Rain wouldn't have the situation she'd be in at the end of the movie.
Yeah, but his ultimate goal, Rook's ultimate goal, and later whenever Andy basically becomes possessed by Rook, is to complete the mission of cloning the xenomorphs and getting them for the company, the Weyland-Yutani company.
They want they want that saved DNA, whatever it is.
Yes, that as well. The geno for that basically the engineers from Prometheus, it comes from them.
And they blend it with the alien.
Yes.
See, what we find out, and this is another fun tidbit, where the artifact they found near Nostromo in the beginning of the film was actually the alien featured in Alien.
Yes, and we'll see its hanging body.
And there's a shot where I was like, "What? Wait a minute, what the hell?" And it's really nice. You have to catch it, guys.
Apparently,
but there's an alien, and he's kind of like on display, and he's hanging there, and it's decayed.
Yes.
It's just fucking freaky looking. And we find out that is our boy, the original alien from the 71 classic.
Apparently, I just read up on this. I didn't catch it when we watched it, but apparently, if you look close, he has a harpoon sticking out of him that Ripley stuck in him on the Nostromo.
Yeah, see, that's stuff you got to really...
Oh, attention to
and it's that. Yeah, you got to find. But that's my point. This guy crosses his T's and dots his I's.
Yes.
Now, Navarro gets it. With the chest buster. And her whole sequence is pretty, and it's elongated. It's not like, oh, let's do a face hugger. Okay, done. No, we focus on this attack quite long when she gets it, and then when they have this really cool little machine, it's an X-ray machine that you can hold up to behind your arm or something, and you can see right through your body. And this is how she finds something in her chest, and obviously she gets her comeuppance.
Yep.
Still good kill.
Oh, yeah.
Still good death.
Yeah. Just, jumps out of her. And, but there are other aliens on board as well in this nest thing. So they are. And also,
so
it's worth noting, although we've already referenced it, that one of the female characters confirms pretty much near the beginning that she's pregnant. She has, because she has morning sickness. That'll come into play later on.
So what happens is you've got the facehuggers coming after him. You got Navarro, who's their pilot, I believe, is dead.
Yes.
You've got a pregnant woman aboard. You've got a nice little Andy who's now a rogue android. You've got Rook who's not helping any. And then to make matters worse, Kay and Bjorn, and this doesn't even start when the aliens kick in. Then to make matters worse, they have to take their Corberlon. I think it's called the Corberlon. It's the ship they use to get up there.
Yes.
They jump into it, and they're going to leave.
Yes.
They're going to leave them behind.
I believe so.
There's nothing they can do for them. So they get on, but they're reckless about it, and they end up crashing into another sector of the Romulus hangar. But what that does now is it takes the station and shifts it.
Yes.
And now it's moving toward the Jackson's planetary rings. And it's going to be engulfed in this huge asteroid belt.
It's a different planet. It's not the colony planet at this point, I don't think. Although it could be wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Still the same planet, right? Okay.
Still same planet.
Okay, yeah.
Wow. Someone didn't do their homework.
No, I mean, I've only watched this once.
I did.
Oh, shut fuck up.
I did. Pure legend here. Pure legend, everybody.
It's like a keeping you right, babysitting you. You know, like Mad Max.
Fuck off.
Babysits the kids and Beyond Thunderdome.
Well,
but anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So now they have like an hour. Okay. Now we talked about this after the movie. We gets a pass. Okay. There's a countdown, right? You got an hour. You got 20 minutes. You got 10 minutes, whatever.
Yes.
We all know in movie time, that's like,
you don't get it.
Like, yeah, you add it by another 40 minutes.
See, just before we started this podcast, I was doing a bit of homework on this. According to IMDb, the internet, so take this with a pinch of salt. Apparently, the countdown is correct in real time, and basically the final act of the film is in real time, and it is correct. It just feels like they're taking the piss, or at least it did with us, because we felt that it was like the longest 20-minute countdown in film history. But according to the internet, so again, take it with a pinch of salt, it is correct in real time.
All right. So when Kay and Bjorn crash the Romulus, and the Romulus says we have 1 hour before impact.
Yes.
That is an hour left in the film.
Apparently so. And the rest of the film is in real time. Like an episode of 24.
I guess it can kind of work, because when you watch it, yes, the hour's up, but the ship slowly gets devoured by the rings.
I think it's
so they're still fighting when the ship's going into the belt.
I think it's just because of the way it's you're jumping between, the ship, slowly crashing into the rings, and then they're fighting aliens and stuff, and then, you think it's over, but then there's the big final part, which we'll get to. But apparently it's basically an episode of 24, but in space, where no one can hear you scream.
All right. I might see it again, because I would like to, now that I'm no, yeah, and go.
Yeah. We stop watching?
No, but not even that, just because of there's so much stuff to catch, guys. It's a fan film, and it's like the guys who did Halloween, at least 2018, the ones we all liked was 2018. He peppered in everything that everyone wants to see, and he does it so well. And right there, he's a master of his craft. If he actually gave us, there's an hour left, this is it. And so if that's true, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to the professionalism of our boys.
You would obviously have to check it on, rewatch, but apparently so. Apparently it is.
Now, I like the Bjorn character is kind of a dick. We all know he's kind of annoying, actually.
Well, he's like bigoted against them, because he's a robot, because he's a synthetic.
Yeah, but that was because
his parents
were killed by one.
Yes, again, it's a case of the one who killed his parents thought it was logical, for the greater good, or else everyone would have died. So that's why he has a chip on his shoulder about synthetics, basically.
But Bjorn was with Kay after they crashed the ship, and he's trying to help her, and they're obviously now under attack, but they're by themselves, and there's no escape. But he tells her to run. He's not going anywhere. He's pretty much fucked, because the acid from one of the aliens has hit his leg and crippled him almost, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he tells her run, and then this alien's goo out from the acid is just dripping on him bit by bit and just tearing into him. It's a horrible death, but again, he's taken what works. He shows you the real gratuitous of what Facehugger does. He really shows you in this what the acid, how powerful it is.
Yeah.
The acid is actually key. Actually, the acid is key in this film. He takes everything that is used against the humans by the aliens, and he just shows you in detail of how powerful this really is, all the stuff that they use. And it's so wonderfully done. And his death, and you hate the character, but when you see him get it, you're like, fuck, poor bastard.
I think he's just a well-rounded character. I wouldn't say I hated him. He's just a bit of a dick, a bit of a young
I
dick.
thought he was a dick.
Yeah.
He was kind of annoying, you know. But again, you felt sorry for him when he got it. So the actor did something right.
Oh, the actors here are spot on, all of them.
No, I have nothing. Yeah, I have nothing at all.
Yeah.
I have nothing against any of them.
Yes.
So my favorite scene, there's a couple of them here. And at this point, we start the boyfriend, Tyler, well, the ex-boyfriend. Yeah. He's there. They got 2 pulse rifles. And they pretty much each have 1 round. Not one, well, 1 set of rounds, whatever, like 400 blasts, whatever that. Yeah, whatever, a magazine, correct. And the boyfriend quickly gets it as he's gotten, the tail.
Yes.
The famous tail death, gets it through his chest, and he's lifted all the way up. And this alien looks at him, and he goes out in a blaze of glory, starts shooting he sees all these aliens coming at him. This is where we see the whole nest starting to come at everyone now. And finally we get a real shot of what these fucking things with his teeth come in and penetrate their skull.
Yeah.
We got glimpses here and there, but this will show it. It quickly cuts. It quickly cuts. He gets in the forehead. Yeah. It sucks, but
tough shit. We want to see our gore. And in an alien film, I want to see gore and horror science fiction gore by xenomorphs, and we'll get it. We do get it here.
Now it's just her and Andy at this point, right?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
They don't have
pregnant.
Kay's back.
Yes. They find her in the nest. They rescue her from the nest.
Yes, that's right, because she just disappears because she gets locked in. And because that's her brother. That's Tyler's. Kay and Tyler are brother sister. Mm-hmm. Is it Tyler? Yes. And
that's where
Andy won't let her out. Andy won't let her in.
Earlier, they basically want to go in and rescue her from the room with the xenomorph. But Andy says no. If we open this door, this is when Andy's under the control of Luke. Says no, and he's much smarter and logical. Says if we open the door, it will kill us all. And they're pissed off. And Rain slaps Andy. For the first time. But he's actually right. I know he's a synthetic. But he's actually right in his decision. Is it better off one of them dying or all of them dying, including her?
Well, I think that's my point, because the brother handles it quite well. Yeah, he's crying, pissed off, but there's a part of him, I think he understood what Andy was saying.
It's Spock from Star Trek, pure logic, non-biased logic.
So let's talk about Star Trek. So there's a scene where it's just her and Andy now.
Yes.
And I forgot where Kay was at this point.
I think, was she? But no, she was put into the cyro chamber, the deep sleep chamber, I believe at this point.
Yes, and they have to go back.
And they also give her the geno, from, she takes it herself.
She takes it herself, that's right. She takes
Rook, who's up to no good.
Yeah, she takes it. She's in so much pain. She takes this because she's still hurt. Not even from the baby. She's just been.
Oh yeah, roughed up by a few xenomorphs.
Roughed up. Yeah. So she injects herself with the DNA.
And because
hopefully make her feel better.
Advises her to do it, but obviously he knows what's happening.
Well,
he's going to mess with her baby.
I don't know if Rook knew that.
Oh, he did. He did.
Well, Andy didn't. Not Andy, because
no, but Rook did.
Rook might have, I suppose, but there's a video showing a rat dead or in pain, they give it the xenomorph DNA, whatever it is, and it comes back to life. But as they walk away from the video,
It explodes.
It explodes.
Yeah. I would say about Andy as well, though. Andy, although a lot of him is under the control of Luke, there's still like good Andy battling with like bad Andy. So he's conflicted, which again, it's great, for the character, So there's like good Andy trapped in there with Luke Andy.
Yeah. And you kind of see that a bit when piggybacking on the Star Trek thing I was talking about. One of my favorite Star Treks is Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
And there's an assassination scene in that film where somebody turns off the gravity of a Vulcan ship, and they walk into these metal boots, and obviously magnet boots, I guess you'd call them, and they're stuck to the floors, and they assassinate all these Klingons. And you see the purple blood floating all around. Well, this almost pays homage to that a little bit. Maybe he's a fan of it. But keep in mind, their blood is acid.
The alien blood.
Again, focusing on other elements besides the teeth. Because quite frankly, most of the damage that's done is by a facehugger, or it's done to themselves, or it's done by the acid.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, they got the pulse scene, which is homage to the classic Aliens pulse scene. But it's just a person shooting. It's not automatic weapons. And she is blowing the shit. And then there's this cool automatic weapon scope where it automatically targets, it's target.
Yeah.
And blood is flying everywhere. But she's turned off the gravity. So now that blood is floating. So that way, because there's another thing, again, maybe it is paying a little tribute to Aliens, where they're trapped on this nuclear fucking barrier or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And they says, we can't use our weapons. And obviously Hudson says, well, we're supposed to use harsh language. That is playing this scene because they're told, do not let the acid touch the floor. Why? Because this is the bottom of the ship.
It'll blow a hole in it into space.
It will blow a hole in it and we'll be all sucked out.
Yep.
So that's why she's shooting them and using the gravity as this float. So the blood, there's just floating at this point, but she's got to wave her way through it, float through it without touching any of it. It's really neat. And then there's one set, and it's really fun because you're rooting for her. You got this fucking pile of acid come right in your face, and she uses the pulsar gun, and she shoots it to the ground.
Blow her out of the way, or blow it out of the way.
It blows her out of the way.
Yeah.
And it's very clever and very intense and just very fun. And all these little traps that they get themselves into, they do find a way out, and it's a smart way out. You mentioned about how I messed it, but the facehuggers, they're in the water. It's something about the coolness.
Yes, it's to do. Basically, Andy advises him. He does it to basically change the temperature of the room so that basically, because the facehuggers are blind and they can only sense humans to jump on through their body heat. So he changes this is when he's good, Andy. Well, he's sort of jumping back and forward. But so he changes the temperature of the room so that it confuses the facehuggers and they don't detect them. But he also warns them that basically if you get excited or you break into a sweat or whatever, they'll detect you, and therefore that creates tension.
Yeah. And I didn't know that about the facehuggers. Maybe it was explained in another one.
I don't think it's ever been openly explained in a film, maybe in something like one of the games, or but apparently it is part of the canon. So yeah, obviously Alvarez has done his homework and then some. So, and he's played on this aspect of it.
You ever notice that in the Alien films, the androids are the bad guys? Because I'll give you an example. I'll go through it. You got, all right, so first you got Ash from Alien, right?
Who's a bastard.
Yeah. You have the good guy, Bishop.
Yes, I was just going to say Bishop.
But in this one, you had Burke.
Yeah.
Was the one. He was human, obviously. Mm-hmm. Then you had evil Bishop in Alien 3.
No, he's not evil. No. That's a human in Alien 3, which I just watched, actually.
I know.
It's a human creator.
I know, but it's still evil.
All right.
He's still evil, and he's Bishop's creator. So we'll call him Evil Bishop. What the fuck, man? So then you got Dr. Jeterman, who's played by Brad Dourif, in.
He's not an android?
I believe that's I'm just saying there's always. Can I finish?
Okay,
please?
go ahead.
Okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, maybe I misspoke when I said they're all androids. Rat bastard. Yeah, David from Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Winona Ryder is...
They all... Would you... Oh, there you go. There you go. Just really interrupt me again. And I had a good climax for this.
Go ahead,
Now it's
go ahead.
ruined. Now it's completely ruined.
Go ahead. Finish it.
Well, what's the point?
Finish it.
Anyways, long story short, there's always somebody from the Wayland Industries there to make sure something gets out that they can bring back and test on.
Yeah. Yes.
There. Happy?
There's always a company man or robot. You know what I mean? With Paul Reiser and Aliens as well. You know? Yeah.
I said that, Burke.
I know. I'm
Why would you say that again?
Because I'm agreeing with you.
But you can't agree with me. You just go, yeah, that's true. You don't have to.
So even when I agree with you, you still have a problem with.
No, it's not. But you said Paul Reiser, but I just said that.
I was backing up what you were saying. Plus, it was confirming that he's the bad guy and not Bishop in the second one.
I said I did that too.
And Paul and Alien Resurrection, Winona Ryder. She's pretty nice.
No, it's Dr. Geideman.
No,
Isn't
he's
Brad Dourif the bad guy?
No. Yes, he's the bad guy, Brad Dourif, and there are a couple of other ones. There's a crew of them. But Winona Ryder's the android in Resurrection. Call.
Oh, that movie was shit anyway, so I don't care.
Has its moments.
There. I don't care. I don't care.
And they're on the subject of Alien Resurrection. There is a huge reference to it coming up here in Romulus.
Well, do you just want to ruin it for everybody now, or do you just want me to just... So, as I was leading in to what I just said, yes, there is a pregnancy coming up because she has injected herself, Kay, with this xenomorph Prometheus engineer goo.
Yep.
The baby is altered and grown faster. So when she gets to her, she is given birth. She's still alive and everything, and she pops out the child, and she rips it open, Rain, and it's in some kind of sarcophagus or cocoon, yep. And we see it as a little baby engineer primarily. But just like the alien, it grows really fucking fast.
Kills its mother.
And as we know from Prometheus, the engineer, the xenomorph is created by human blood, by the engineer blood.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I think that's right.
Yeah, that's human blood and then engineer blood create the alien.
But this is a
right
sort of version of
that's my because you have her DNA, a xenomorph DNA, and you have the engineer DNA, and that's what this creates.
It's like a three-way hybrid,
right? Yes. And when this happened, guys, I'm telling you right now, I was like, "Fuck me, movie's gonna suck dick." That's it. I said, I'm not watching this. This is gonna be terrible. I hate births and films. What the fuck? Then then she screamed, like, fuck, come on, number or something, right? But
well, if you'd just given birth to a fucking 9-foot alien, you'd be in fucking pain. Give her a break. Give her a break.
Give me a break. So anyways.
She's just given birth to the spawn of Cthulhu.
So it disappears, and Rain's got to go after it. Kay's dead at this point.
It's killed her.
Yeah, but you don't see much. You should have saw something.
Sick bastard.
Oh, yeah.
It is an alien fundamentally, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, yeah, well, no offense, after giving birth to fucking Chewbacca between your legs, you're going to be dead anyway. You're not going to survive that.
Although he's kind of small at first, but he grows really big in a short period of time.
Yeah, so when she finds him, we finally see him at his age, and guys, it's so fucking creepy. And it's practical. Mm-hmm. It's animatronics with some close-up headshots, probably somebody in there. But it's tall. He's got he's like a tall, slender man with the face of the engineer, the tail of an alien in human skin. It's so fucking creepy. It's
very well done.
And this is what I was talking about, where you got the aliens, you've got the Facehuggers, you got what's his name, Rook. You've got the belt that they're crashing into as this is all happening, as the ship's being devoured. You have Andy, who's become a rogue. You've lost your main ship because of Kay and I've got his name, Bjorn. All these elements and acid, all these elements have come into play, and you think she's made it. So, and of course, as they talked about the hull with the acid, that finally comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Would that happen with the acid, didn't it? Didn't it finally hit that, or was that just them hitting the belt?
No, I think it's a bit of both. But as far as you know, it's actually a bit of acid that drops from.
Yes, the acid. Yeah, because they have to bring the gravity back on.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to put the gravity back on, they have to put the gravity back on, and they have to make it out of there real quick. Because once they put the gravity back on, the acid hits the floor.
Yes.
So now they're in a time. And this is when, as she's fighting this fucking creepy thing, she's then sucked out. Oh, there's a big hole eaten, and she gets sucked out, but she's hanging on by some, I want to see space rope, whatever the fuck they got over there.
Yeah.
And it's such a fun, it's just such fun escapism. And and then you see, and once she successfully removes the beast, there's a shot. And it's her dangling underneath the ship on this rope that she's on.
She's wearing a spacesuit, by the way. So, again, another reference to Ripley in the original.
Yeah. No, she's...
And her space, and the helmet of her space suit is cracking as well. So that's another layer of tension.
Yes.
Layer of tension.
It's pretty fun because when she's trying to get this fucking thing off, the xenomorph fucking banging on the mask.
Yes.
And it's cracking.
Because it's smart.
She finally gets him off, and she's hanging anyway. And you can see from a distance the ship being slowly devoured and the whitest, grayest ring. It is so gorgeous. And this is when I was talking about CGI and when it's beautifully done well. I mean, this shot should be on a poster. It's so beautiful. Obviously, she gets back up and, saves the day.
Yep. And then she gives her final log. And in the style of Ripley in the original. This is Rain signing off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy's badly injured, but you say she'll repair him. Oh, and also Andy, just earlier on in the finale, delivered the line, "Get away from her, you bitch." He does it in a slightly different...
Yeah, because there's a nice scene where they kind of copy Hollow Man a bit. We talked about that with the elevator sequence, where his conscience starts coming back a little bit. The real Andy, where he saves her life in the elevator scene, which is pretty effective. And she also says the line. She says the line to him, "I have a new command for you," and it was, what was it? Was it
something like be yourself,
save everyone, or
look out for yourself, or something? Or
no, it was look out for
Andy.
Yeah, his first one was look out for Andy.
Yeah. No, his first one. He's always looking out for her and other people whenever he's good, Andy.
Yeah, look out. Yes, no. Yeah, look out for Rain.
Yes,
that was his command the whole time.
Yes.
But she goes, "I have another command for you. Look out for everybody or all humans or something like that." I don't know, something hokey. Yeah.
What's your overall thoughts of it?
Know. Yeah, pretty fucking good.
I would say very entertaining at the time. It is a greatest hits album, as we've discussed. I think it's the best Alien film since Alien 3. There is the argument, of course, that was it really necessary? And in 10 years' time, will we still be talking about it? Will it be as memorable as certainly the first three? Time will tell. But certainly at the time, entertaining, greatest hits album of the Alien series.
Yeah, I'm going to fight you on that one. I think it's a lot better than the greatest hits album, as I mentioned during the podcast. Don't let me finish. I know. Let me finish, please. You've already torn the movie apart, and you said it was a piece of shit. So now it's my turn.
Go ahead.
It is the greatest hits.
So you're agreeing with me.
He exploits I said it during the podcast, so you stole it from me, plagiarist. So anyways, fuck me. Can I just finish this, please? Our listening audience is like, fuck me, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, do you?
Both of you. Yeah, well, I'll admit it. No, but listen, yeah, it is greatest hits, but he makes the greatest hits his own. I mentioned that with the Acid Blood and the Facehuggers. He shows you the real damage that these things can really, really do, and in detail, in graphic detail. They all play big parts. All the elements that make an alien play big parts in this, not just the alien itself. You have great characters in this, minimal characters, which works. The gore is there when you need it. The visual effects are stunning. There's no CGI. Well, there's no CGI that takes away from the film. It's all practical monsters. I mean, the score, Whistleworth, I can't remember his name, but was wonderful. It blended all the old scores together nicely, also accommodating his own style. It's a beautiful package. And I'll tell you what, I said this before, Rogue One's a perfect fucking example. If you're going to do a film, all right, and you're going to put it in the middle or before a fucking classic franchise, you better fucking hold it up. And you better own it, and you better be true to the original. Well, they did that with Rogue One. I swear by Rogue One. You have Rogue One, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. 4 fucking... I even put Solo on there because I actually enjoyed Solo. Might get to it someday. Those films tell a fucking good story. I'm happy with them. Fuck the others. All right? Now, Alien, all the aliens are actually quite good. I don't think I have a problem with any of the Aliens films. I'm happy with the entire franchise, to be fair. I'm not a big fan of Resurrection, but it's got some cool stuff. So, as a complete package, but you put this right after Alien and right before you hit the big boy, Aliens. So is it a nice little introduction to aliens? And that's what we need to be answering ourselves. And I think it fucking does. I really think it holds up. It plants the seed perfectly for aliens to come in. So you can watch Alien Romulus, and Aliens and Alien 3, and even Alien Resurrection, as bad as it is, and enjoy the entire franchise. And then you obviously got Prometheus and Covenant, which are underrated. The whole franchise is really good. But to put this between Alien and Aliens, that's a ballsy move. Ballsy move, because those two are fucking classics. Aliens, it is the greatest sci-fi horror. Second, I think it is. I think The Thing is my favorite, but you know what I'm saying.
I think it works very well. And Alvarez, he certainly knows how to do horror, and he certainly knows the Alien franchise inside out. My concern would be that will it be as memorable in like 5-10 years time? Don't know. We'll have to find out when we get there. But I certainly, on this first time viewing in the cinema, I certainly enjoyed it, and it is very exciting. And, especially with Rook, basically, Aisha's twin, there's a lot to enjoy there, especially if you're a fan of the series.
Well, there you go, people. Go ahead and check it out for yourselves and see what you think. Trevor hates it. Clearly made that point out. That's unfortunate. Not at all. But he liked Stop When Mom Shoot, so fuck him. Now, guys, check it out. I can't wait to see what he does next. I'm so always looking forward to. It's always nice to have a director like Ty West and Fede Alvarez.
There's a lot of good talent.
Neil Marshall. Yeah, all these guys out there that you look forward to see what they can do next, and I hope he hits another home run, because this was a pleasant surprise. It would have been a fucking train wreck, but there you go. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. This was a long one. I do apologize for that. But when you're it's tough when you take notes right after a film, and then you don't really have anything to reference it. You kind of got to research it a bit, and you don't like looking at cheats, because sometimes those cheats can be misleading, but it kind of refreshes the memory of what you saw. But the great thing about something like Alien is it's so well done. It's memorable. So you kind of do remember everything you saw. A film that was okay, you kind of black it out after, the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, holds its own. Kudos to the marketing team. They won. It just seems, it's a well-packaged product. So there you go. All right, guys, listen, give us a shout at CitizenFrame_podcast on Instagram, and, of course, Facebook. If you have any shouts, you want to yell at Trevor for something, I'm cool with that.
Thanks for, sort of bearing with me while I remain patient and babysit Ciaran. So, and keep him right.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. You piece of shit.
Oh.
No. Guys, it's all good fun and banter.
Yes. Of course.
Until you work with Trevor.
Until somebody gets some alien acid blood on them. It's all fun and games.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Take care of yourselves. Have a good night.